All right, everyone, welcome back. Eric and Donnie here with Performance Golf, joined by Sir Nick Faldo. Sir Nick, how you doing?
I'm fit and healthy and getting stronger by the minute, literally.
We see you're tuning in from the Montana house.
Well, it's our little mini house. We're on our land. We wanted to be living on our land. Our farmhouses are being built at the other end of our land, so which obviously I can see out the window. So yeah, we've been in here a while and going through winter. And we're going to tell everybody. Well, I had surgery, so I'm 4 weeks and 4 days from having right hip replaced. So amazingly, all went really well. I mean, don't tell me what the operation looked like. I don't want to know. But, they stick a ball and socket on a bloody stake in you, about this big or something. And 4 hours after the operation, I was first in at 5 a.m. and operated at 7. And by the time you've woken up, you're walking at 11 o'clock. On a walker, which blew in the mate. And the doc said, you can put 100% weight on it. And, I was really stuffed, is a technical phrase. I don't know how bad it was. I was crawling to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I couldn't put my weight on my right hip. It was deteriorating so fast over the last 4 or 6 months. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, we saw you here in the studio standing up. It didn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, I was hobbling around, all of that, and it got worse and worse. Really, I couldn't really walk. I had to use the furniture to walk around the house, and I did that, and bang, and here we are 4 weeks, and the best. Really uncomfortable for about 2.5 weeks. My legs swelled up and all that stuff, but then last Friday, 4 weeks, I did a physio session, and she's given me lots of tough, little mini squatty exercises and things, and standing on steps and dropping your foot. And I've never in my life, if an instructor says do 3 sets of 10, I'll do 3 sets of 10, whatever the weight might be, I don't know, but I can't do it. I actually can't do 3 sets. I can't do 1 set. And I thought, you're joking. So that's the first shock of my life. That I've really, really got to build this up. I hate to think, I'm probably only at 30% power in that right leg if I haven't used it for 6 months. So anyway, I'm good. It's going to be great. Swing's going to be awesome. I'm going to be busting it over 250 again. So can't wait.
You're going to be able to relate to a lot more golfers who are trying to swing around injuries, because that's a huge thing in golf.
Now this will be fully mobile, which is pretty impressive. Anyway, so that's my update here. So yeah, I'm looking forward, and I'm on countdown now. We've got a couple of weeks to the Masters, so can't wait. Get back into the golf season.
Out of curiosity, Sir Nick, what's a time frame for you to be like swinging a club again? How long does that take with your recovery?
No, I think another. Well, I'm already doing half swings. I'm swinging. I've got a heavy baseball bat which I swing on our front porch in the sun, which is nice. Get the sun on my back up here and just do a few little. So it's moving pretty good. I hit 12 balls or so into my net with a 9-iron. I thought, don't push it just yet. So I'm trying to be sensible. I'm asking what I can do, and so I'll give me a couple of weeks, and then obviously I'll be teeing it up in the 5th major at the par 3 at Augusta National. So that's going to be my first adventure onto a golf course. I'll go and play the par 3. That's a perfect distance for me now.
Yeah, short wedge. Well, obviously we wish you well with the recovery.
Short wedge, lots of wedges off a tee peg.
Easy peasy, love it. So obviously, Sir Nick, Donnie, today's episode, we want to talk more about PGA Championship this year at Valhalla. Obviously, there's some awesome, epic events there over the years. We're involved in a Ryder Cup there in 2008. We had Tiger and Bob May in, 2000, I believe, obviously Rory in 2014.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start with the golf course first, maybe before some of the events. So Valhalla Golf Course as a whole, Sir Nick, for the people who are going to be watching, anything stick out to you in terms of how the course is set up or things about that golf course for us to look for when we're watching the tournament?
Yeah, a lot of trees, a lot of awkward. So when we first went there, God, I remember doing that one, the 96. It was so hot in practice rounds. I mean, you got back to the clubhouse at the 12th hole and you thought, yeah, I'm going in. It was that hot. And yeah, he's got holes through little valley bits like 2 and 3, some awkward little short 4s, kind of opens up. Then you've got a very tricky hole. What one is that? That's always about the 6 or something, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, 5 and 6, I think. 3's the par 3, is it? I can't remember. 3, 4. That one when you play a second shot across the ravine, very difficult because if you touch the rough, boy, you actually had to just chip it out, which is nothing worse than just chipping it out 30 yards to keep it because you couldn't get across. Then they got that wacky par 5 which had double fairways. I'm not too sure if they shut a fairway down at one of those PGAs. There's normally double fairway and they went for just one fairway.
That's the super long number 7. Looks like number 7's a super long par 5.
Yeah, it's had a lot going on that hole. A big fairway over there, skinny one up the left, a lot of stuff through the middle. Awkward little par 3 after that. 9 went up the hill. Yeah, then you went into the woods for 10 and 11, 12. Yeah, as I said, trees, a lot of trees as you start the back 9. Actually, a lot of the whole back 9's through the trees, isn't it, really? So they're very much in play. Then it opens up down 17 and 18, back to being. So, yeah, I never played that course well. Deleted. Can't remember what I did around the course. So, probably found it stinky hot. August in. Were we there in August? No, we wouldn't be there in August. It wasn't the last one.
Well, I think it used to be in August, right?
Yeah, it was. No, it was late, wasn't it? Yeah. No, you're right. BJ was always the last one. Of course it was. August. So I probably struggled with the heat around that course.
And I think obviously they had the 96, which you referenced. Mark Brooks beats Kenny Perry. Kenny Perry, like a sort of hometown guy in there. But I think when people think Valhalla, at least for me, I remember like it was yesterday, watching Tiger and Bob May, the freaking 3-hole playoff. And you played in that. You were there playing that week.
I was there.
You were there. I believe you were there playing. I think
that was a couple of Tiger's iconic moves, chasing after the putt, pointing at the putt, going in.
Yeah, that week for you. And anything stick out? I mean, obviously, when I look back on that, you got the Tiger pointing, you got him and Bob May in the playoff. And I think, and I didn't know this when I looked up, Valhalla was designed by Jack Nicklaus. The Jack Nicklaus designed course. I didn't know that. And I read the PGA owned part of it and then bought sort of the majority of it and then ended up selling it.
Yeah, PGA was always, you're probably right. They probably had a fraction and then they wanted to make it their, one of their homes. So, or their home PGA Championship. They keep going back there, every 5 years or so. So, yeah, this is not going to be a good episode, folks, because I don't have good memories of playing it, and of course I don't have good memories from the Ryder Cup. So
yeah, and so obviously after the 2000, we were probably in like middle schoolish watching that back then.
Yep.
And then 2008 Ryder Cup, obviously we were there. I don't know how much we do or don't want to dive into that. And then 2014 Rory, goes back to Valhalla and wins the PGA by quite a bit. Let's say for your playing history, Sir Nick, Valhalla aside, PGA Championship, what point for you in your career did that become a priority, a major you look forward to? Was it ever that for you?
Yeah, well, obviously the fourth major end of the season. I remember they took us to some weird and wonderful places where it struggled. It used to struggle, to be honest, it struggled with atmosphere. They've managed to beef it up. I think they probably, in their own words, once John Daly won it, but I'm sure I played through the 80s. I remember, it just wasn't They said, but there wasn't enough people around. You used to, by the time you went out in the woods down, 13, 14, 15 or something, there was very few people around. Played a couple of funny ones. I played with Jack at, in Alabama at, was that Shoal Creek? Is that the Shoal Creek one? The one that Trevino won, that one, and the rough was brutal. I better start that again. Was that right? Shoal Creek is the Alabama one?
I'm looking right now.
What
yeah,
year?
Shoal Creek.
I played with Jack at
84.
Wow, 84. 84 I played with Jack. That's the one that Trevino won.
Yeah, he shot 4 rounds in the 60s.
Think on about the second or third hole. Jack had it in the right-hand rough. Went in with a 9-iron and went, whoo, and it went a yard. So you imagine that playing with Jack and just watched it go, and the ball went right. And you're like, oh, don't tell anybody that one. And Jack had a terrible tee shot somewhere on the back nine. And Jack was smart, he never lost his head in public. And we were way back in the trees and there was nobody around, and I heard whomp with the driver into the ground. So that was the only time Jack was really cheesed off. So I played better there than another time, I really screwed up. Next time we went there in 1990.
92 is the year you got second, right?
United, that was 1990. We went back to Shoal Creek, I think, and I blew it on Saturday. Saturday I shot about an 80 or something. Blimey, I don't know. 92 was pricey. Yeah, I had a good chance, and that was a weird week. I actually, I actually finished second, and I didn't do anything. I sat there and I said, I don't believe I finished second because I didn't do anything any good this week, it felt like. So, whether that's a good thing or, but, take that more as a positive. I didn't even feel like I had my game, and I still finished second. So I deemed that one I could have, but you didn't. Somehow, for some reason, I couldn't turn it on. So I always struggle with the setup, to be honest. They really brought, I'm not a fan of, that first thick rough straight off the fairway, because it stifles you completely. I mean, I do remember actually hitting that 92 one. I hit a 6-iron out of the left rough onto the ground. It was a career shot, which is great. That's what you want. You actually want, to be able to do it. But anytime you're in there and you just take a wedge and chopping it out, I think that switches off. Well, I know it did. It switched off the better players, because it's like you've stifled their creativity. Nothing better if you're in the rough and it's a career shot to hit the thing on the green. Well, I think the players should be given that opportunity. And if you've hit the fairway, well, then you can get over a bunker or whatever and get close to the flag. But I think it keeps the better players alive and kicking to stick in with it. Like same as US Opens. US Opens, when you miss the fairway and you just chopped it out, anybody can do that, can't they? So I think that kills. So, it struggled for a while to really give it some oomph, but it's obviously built up over the years and got bigger and bigger and better and better. And, of course, the Rory one, I thought the Rory one was pretty special. It was crazy, wasn't it? That's the first time we saw, there's a couple of memories from that. I mean, there was a couple of tee shots. It was the first time when Rory really suddenly was this great driver of the golf ball. I mean, he made a couple of swings where you just went, wow. I remember that one. I think it was off 16th tee. He walloped. It was because he was either Stenson was in another group. I mean, he hit it 40 yards past Stenson or something crazy like that. And then we had that ridiculous situation when they were trying to finish in the dark. I remember doing, obviously, CBS, and we're up there going, it was like the lads finishing, say, let's play an 8-ball down the last so we can all finish. It was almost as crazy like as that. So that's most of my memories of that particular week.
Yeah, I think that obviously the Rory that week was crazy to watch. I was looking up some of the results you had here, Sir Nick, just kind of a jog down memory lane. Donnie, might be kind of crazy for you to hear and for you guys listening.
Make sure you got the prize money as well.
I'm going to throw some dollar signs in here. So
you wait till you hear the prize money. The guys are tipping more than that now.
So I got a little chart here, Sir Nick, of your finishes in majors. And certainly there's some great ones before this and there's some great ones after this. But starting in 86 at the Open, not the British Open, just the Open, in 86, listen to this, Donnie. We go 5th, 1st, then we had a little, 28th, 30th, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 18th, 11th, 9th, 1st, 3rd, 1st. And then 19th, 12th, 16th, 17th, 16th, 13th, 4th, 1st, 2nd. That's a run of major championship finishes, Sir Nick, for you from 88 to about, 93, 92, 93?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable consistency in the...
How many top... Yeah, I think there's a stat, isn't there, for top threes or something in majors?
Yeah, I was looking at some of that too. It's almost. I
mean, Jack's obviously the crazy one.
19 top fives.
There we go, 19. Yeah, not bad.
Are you kidding me? 19 top fives.
Which is right up there with.
You had 8 top fives in the Open alone.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Are your stats the same at the Open as they are at the PGA? Is that what I'm seeing here? 1
second, 1 third, and 4 top fives.
Sure are. Yep. 1 second,
US
1 third, and 4 top fives.
Yeah.
US Open, yeah.
US Open and
US
the PGA.
Open and the PGA are the exact same stats. That's wild.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Blimey.
It's interesting to look at that.
I was pretty consistent. Yeah, that's what we were.
That might be one thing you're known for.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, I mean, you guys like talking golf swings and that sort of thing, but that's when I started really working on shaping the ball, get little fades, little draws. And if you can do that, my argument is you can go for more flags or you've just got a better percentage. And they call it proximity to hole now. But, is it a birdie chance or not? And that's all you're trying to create in a round, isn't it? And I know when I was playing really well, I might have a dozen birdie chances in a round. And if you're at that number, that as I've said, or you probably heard me say, if you're putting badly, you're making 2 and 3 birdies. If you putt medium, you make 4 to 6. And if you putt great, you make 8 birdies.
You got statistics on your side.
Uh-huh.
That's how you, and if you keep churning that out day after, and then that was day after day, that you have got close to a dozen birdie chances, well, you're in control of the golf game, or your golf game. And I personally think that's, in all my TV time when they kept coming up with stats, that's all I wanted to know. Who was on, definitely worked on some courses, or a lot of courses, proximity to the hole really stood up. Somebody said it the other day. I mean, I think that's the number one stat, because that's the goal, isn't it? How presentable are your birdie chances?
The statistics to win a major. How close are you hitting it?
Yeah, I mean, because you're taking the pressure off yourself. I mean, you're just there all the time, and you've only got to get a really good eye in, and which you do some days. Which is crazy, isn't it? How you can look at the putt. You think you're looking at the putt the same each day, and some days you feel, oh, I can knock this, and some other days you're missing by an inch, left, right. It's
when you look at these stats, and it can't help to reference Full Swing, because I watched the first season again. My fiance needed to see it, and then I just watched the second season, and I look at Brooks, right, and it's like Brooks just shows up for majors. He shows up. Statistically, that's what he does. So when you think about that mindset, obviously majors are important. They're the most important terms of the year. But do you turn on another gear? Do you turn on another switch? What's the difference between the season and the majors?
I think it's the intensity level and how you can cope with it, because obviously generally you would say everybody is ramped up at majors. You're going to be hyped up a bit more. So do you have the ability to knock it down a touch so you're not super hyped up about everything? You're nice and comfortable because you know there's other guys, their wheels are spinning too fast. And so you know that and also having that ability to turn up, as you say, just turn up the volume on all your senses, sort of thing. Your concentration, your decision making is all a little bit better, and if you keep churning out lots of good golf shots, you wear everybody down. I mean, you look how Tiger had won, and you look at that spell when Brooks was winning. Using him as an example, you keep churning out good shots, which is back to my proximity to hole. Look how when Jordan Spieth had his run as well. My goodness, everything was flag high, inside 15 feet. And that is a mental state as well. So it's a mental strength, rather, isn't it? Mental strength to keep churning that out. Obviously, it's a good golf swing because you've got to strike the ball how you intend, and if you strike it correctly, then it will go the distance you intend. So put all of that together. But I think it's more that you love that there is more intensity. There's more meaning to each shot. You come right out the gates day one, even on Thursday, and every shot is really important. Every shot is a step towards getting to that 72nd green. So, you put all of that together. That's what I enjoyed. Because you knew that a lot of guys couldn't handle that. They're going to fall at the wayside. So and the half a dozen guys that can hang on to it. So you're trying to be one of them.
Also, the energy of the event. Like, it's interesting you're talking about there wasn't a lot of people at the PGA. You don't hear a lot of guys talk about like how many people are at the event watching, and I mean, does that make much of a difference? I mean,
atmosphere is really nice, isn't it? Really, you want a buzz around you, because in the good old days, people walked a lot with you. You had your own little group of fans, and they came with you for the full 18 holes. Or a lot of holes didn't, and it created that energy. There's a bit of buzz going on, and I know on some occasions you'd be like, oh, I know a couple of opens when you arrive on the green, you see a whole hillside of people, and you start thinking, oh, if I hold this putt, and they're all going to go nuts, and you see what you visualized. I mean, and I thought, oh, if I hold this, I'll go like that. You actually visualize your reaction, and see so again, it's the power of visualization. So you've actually seen it go in. That's really good for you. You've seen how you're going to react. They react. Great feeling inside. So I know when you do that, it's like, great. Right, on to the next one. Start again at the next hole.
Yeah, I was talking about the energy. During Full Swing, I was watching the Fitzpatrick brothers. Did you watch it yet?
I did. Sir Nick, did you see
the new season?
No, I haven't yet.
So his brother's name's Alex, right? So his brother Alex plays in the Open, and I just felt like I could relate with him. He was so relatable, and when he was playing well, that was one of the first times I like took account of that crowd. I'm like, whoa, the pressure. I could like feel his pressure in that. When you watch Sir Nick with a huge crowd around him, it's like, okay, well, he deals with this pressure, right? But with watching Alex, it was like I could feel the pressure that I think one of us would feel.
Yeah, that was good. That was from Hoylake last year, wasn't it? He had a great Open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he reacted exactly that. It's a lovely feeling to play with grandstands full, and you want that reaction.
Obviously, Sir Nick, you put a ton of practice into it, and that the preparation for these tournaments plays into that. But speaking of like you enjoying that feeling and knowing how to handle that, is that something for you in these majors you found came pretty easy for you, that was natural, or really took you a lot of time to learn? Because like you said, you go to a tournament, if there's only a handful of guys that can handle it, in your mind, is that more they've got that. They've developed that. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's all about comfort zones, isn't it? I think it's a good way. I'm trying to cast my mind back to going to your very first Opens. But I think it's if you are infused and you're energized by it and you're not fearing it, that's already a good start. I'm sure some guys go and think, holy crap, this is way too much for me, right? And fortunately, I never went to an Open and said that. I went, it's like, wow, I love this. It's like, get me in the deep. I'm fine. And I'm still learning. I mean, gosh, it's my first Opens. Way back. 76 was at Birkdale. Then I did Turnberry. And since 78, that was my first really good Open. I finished 4 shots back. Jack won at St Andrews. I finished 4. So I actually felt like I was in it and loved it. And that's the drug, isn't it? Of the majors of, wow, I can operate in this atmosphere. That's what all you're trying to do. And can you keep ramping up your level and you enjoy being in that atmosphere? So if you feel good and feel comfortable and it makes you focus a little more and you never, it makes you try a little more because you never want to give up a shot and every shot's really important. And, as we talked, you remember, me talking about, I had no problems in focusing on a shot because, the whole story I told you about, practicing a well and gone with just the one green, one flag, one bunker. So every shot, so I had no problems in focusing. Well, I've talked to some young golfers and they go, oh, I lose it on the golf course. I can't concentrate. And I'm like, wow, you've got to step that up, mate. Because that was self-taught. So I've never had a problem at all about being switched on and giving each shot 100%. Preparation and belief as well. I mean, you've got to have 100% belief. You can't look down and go, well, you do. You look down sometimes and go, I don't like it, but you've got to be able to deal with it. Not every shot you're going to like, but you've got to know how to deal with that. When you look at the line and think, cripes, don't like that. That's thin. That's sitting on sand. Damp sand. It could just explode. And I've now got this shot, so you better know what to do to deal with it. If you're still going, holy crap, I don't know what to do. Well, sure, you're then going to screw up. So I'm sure I did. But, you build up your strength, mental strength of dealing with a lot of things. So you keep churning out. Your shots are a little bit better than the average guys around you. That's all you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's fascinating how it's like a lot of the simple, basic stuff just done well.
Oh, I'm telling the tip that when you told the story about practicing the one green for all those years, every time I hit golf balls now, I can't stop thinking about that. I go to a range, I pick one flag, and I practice the whole, all the way through the set to that green. It helps so much. Because, before that, it's just to get up there and trying to hit straight shots all the time at flags, and you're not doing it, and then you're getting frustrated, and it compounds. But when you pick that flag and you visualize the shots you're hitting in, that has helped me tremendously. I think that's a huge takeaway for a lot of golfers.
Yeah, and step back. Here's a tip. You rake balls over and you hit them, don't you? And the best thing to do is stop and stand back behind it and have a look and imagine you're on the golf course and now it's just one ball. It's not a pile of them. I'm now going to hit this. I'm going to give this next ball full attention. So that's another really good trick on the range. And then, and even now, it can be little things. You can be hitting wedge shots to a flag and experiment with grip pressures. It's hilarious. Squeeze it a bit tighter, it's going to go left or right. I mean, we're all different, aren't we? So little things, tiny little things when you, which I love, it keeps you focused and interested and constantly learning. And all those things hopefully put you in good stead for when you really need it.
Yeah, totally. Maybe you've heard that before from your coach once or twice about
my coach.
I think all golfers would be far better off if they did something closer to their full routine and treated each shot like they did on the course. But in terms of the PGA Championship, I'm interested to get your guys' thoughts on this. Looking back at the previous winners, because I was looking at this, Sir Nick, and I'm trying to draw some correlations between the players who are winning and commonalities they have, right? Obviously, Brooks last year, 2023, Justin Thomas, 2022, Mickelson, Colin Morikawa, Brooks, Justin Thomas, Jimmy Walker, Jason Day, Rory, etc. When you're looking at the PGA Championship and you're looking at the players today that there are, or in the past, is there anything you notice with a player's game that lends well, the top tier guys that have a real chance of winning? Is it like the quality of the ball striking, step number one?
Well, when you listed that off, and I was there to quite a lot of those, going back, can't remember how well Jason Day hit it when he won at Whistling Straits. Wow. I mean, he was busting it. That was one of the first guys starting to bust it, drives of over 300 yards and all that sort. But, when you reeled off that list, the first club that came out was driver. They seemed to set it, didn't they? Jason Day drove great. Obviously, Brooks Koepka drives great. Rory. They seem to set, they obviously, it is a premium on many golf courses, but maybe what I was talking about, the rough, you've got to stay out of it. And, you're not going to win from the thick rough. You really aren't. So that was my first thought. Well, which is always a good thing. I think in majors, you want everybody to be, you want your champion to be the best in all departments. And but definitely drivers seem to stick out, that how important it is just to take the pressure off. Otherwise, you're chipping out sideways. That's what I was describing, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting as you go back further, too, and you look at the Tiger, same thing. Vijay Singh, David Toms, great striker of the ball. Tiger, Vijay, Davis Love, back in the Sir Nick prime. A lot of driver.
Yeah, it's definitely driver, isn't it? It seems like definitely the driver is a really key club.
Nick Price, Steve Elkington. I mean, these are all painstaking, good ball strikers. Yeah, it's also interesting at Valhalla, you look at the winning scores are on the higher end of the spectrum, too, meaning like lots under. 2000, Tiger shot 18 under, got into a playoff and won. And then this most recent one, Rory also shot 16 under. So seemingly pretty gettable relative to...
Well, it's because it's August and hot and humid, soft greens. That's really it. I mean, the golf course is soft.
Gettable.
Yeah. And so, anytime you would create a soft... Anytime a guy knows, can fire a 4-iron on a green, it's going to stop in a yard.
It's going to be a little earlier in the season now.
It's true.
Yeah, it might be a little... Yeah, it might be a little different going in May. It might be, I'm sure it'll still be warm there. It should be actually perfect weather when you think of it, way at May in that part of the world. Yeah, that might change it. They might have an opportunity if you get it dry, get a little firmer. It could play, then that would change the scoring considerably. So that would be kind of nice. It would be, I think any major when you're throwing darts, it's a shame. Put it that way. It takes out a huge element of the player being able to do all these calculations, and it's another calculation when they know, wow, I've got to land it here. Wow, how much room have I got to work with? Where's it going to bounce? Where's it going to stop? I think that takes any tournament, especially majors, up a notch. That you really are being, you reward. Then you really do reward the guy who. Well, look what happened to Augusta when we went to November, 20 under, wasn't it? Dustin wins at 20. I mean, there's probably more, I assume, more Masters won in single digits than double digits, I guess, because if they get the greens rock hard, then the whole strategy changes.
Well, speaking of the conditions being different, obviously with the U.S. Open in Pinehurst, we're going to talk about that next episode. That may be set up in June, a bit more like the those golf courses maybe we want to see. But anything else, guys, in the PGA Championship? I think we got an awesome golf course. We're going to have a great field. I think it'll be an awesome tournament.
Rory's playing well, and he won here.
Scottie Scheffler, ton of wins.
Yeah.
You got the other guys.
A lot of guys playing well right now. Do you have any take on who's playing well right now leading up to this?
Well, it's a bit early considering we're doing this before Augusta. And it's, if as I was describing, if they do get the little bit of firmness, then I think it brings all the better ball strikers to the top of the leaderboard. It kind of makes sense that way. I mean, it gives, if it's soft, it gives more guys a chance to just fire and just plug it in there. But right now, I guess it's all the obvious names. A few youngsters are coming through. Some guys are really learning fast. Wyndham Clark being the obvious one. Right now, as I sit here, no, I don't know anything.
We're going to find out. Interesting note, Brooks Koepka and Justin Thomas collectively have won 5, is that right? 5 out of the last 7 PGA Championships. So 2 guys to keep out for. Obviously, Justin Thomas' hometown, very close to the golf course. Donnie, Sir Nick, love that PGA Championship preview. Next time we get together, we're going to be talking U.S. Open at Pinehurst, which I think will be fascinating. Sir Nick, we're glad you're feeling better. We hope you heal up well and get some swing and get that par 3 contest soon.
I'm on Operation Gazelle. Can't wait to be leaping down the fairways again.
Yeah, appreciate it. We hope you heal well. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.